Guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale, and I got my man Banana Goose back on the line. Banana, did you ever think you'd be on the channel twice, man?
Honestly, I don't know. I was just waiting on a new OP deck, and I think we found it.
I think so, man. You've been dominating with this deck, and I've covered actually a LOON Freeze deck back on Christmas Day, but Freeze right now is just so dominant in the meta. So I wanted to cover another Balloon Freeze deck. This one's much different than the one that I shared earlier, though. It's a little bit cheaper. Tell us about this this deck, man, and why you love it so much.
Yeah, so a while back when Freeze just got changed, like everyone was starting to realize it was crazy strong. And another archetype that's always been strong in the game is, just bait. So I tried mixing the two, and my first 4 or 5 GCs with the deck were all 12s, and I've had just extreme success with it. I think I've gotten over like 16 or 17 GC wins in the past 2 weeks with it.
What? That is insane.
Yeah, and my win rate's like over 85% out of all those games. So it's definitely a pretty crazy deck.
Wow. All right. Well, you were actually inside of a grand challenge right now as well. Let's keep the streak going. I'm going to reset my device in anticipating it will crash here, or I should say I won't be able to spectate you. So why don't you go ahead and hop into a match and tell us maybe a little bit as you search, what do you think, like, what is the strategy basics behind this deck? Like, how are you playing it? Are you playing it passively, aggressively, as bait, as balloon? Give us like maybe some basics to start out with.
Yeah, so generally I play very aggressive at the start. Like I usually start games with I'm in a game, by the way. So I usually start games with Skarmy, Goblin Gang at the bridge, stuff like that, to try to understand what spells they're using, what deck they're using. And then once I can manage what spells they have and air counters, makes it a lot easier for the rest of the game. And then all I really need is one good loon push, and I can take towers. So.
Wow, I like that. It feels like I've had, 300, 400 pro guests on the channel, and I feel like every single one of them has said start out very passively, but you say start out aggressively, so it's nice for a little change there. So once you figure out their little spells, then what are you doing?
Then I'm just going to be just playing really aggressively, just keeping up with lumberjacks, things like that.
So you're setting the tempo in these matches, not the opponent.
Yeah, for sure.
Got it. So here you go, E-Drag Miner Bandit minions. Who knows exactly?
Obviously, so he's used a lot of his air counters right here. So he used minions and E-Drag. So I think now would be a pretty nice time.
Perfect. Okay.
So he's got the Tornado Minor Poison version, and I think I'm gonna freeze here unless he NATOs the king. Yeah, I'm gonna freeze.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
so now he's forced to nail, but you get that second hit in, which is all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And he used the 3 elixir.
Minor Poison, I have a huge lead right now, and he's gonna, like, his deck, obviously Minor Poison is very slow damage, so he realistically shouldn't be able to take that much damage all at once. So I should be able to outdamage him slowly, even if he plays really good defense from now on.
Okay, yeah, and that was a lot of damage you got there. There's no big spell in this deck, and there's usually not in freeze decks, so... Do you ever find yourself ever having to use freeze and zap as like a spell cycle situation at the very end of a match?
Very rarely, because usually it's like one push, you take the tower, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
With rage and freeze, it's crazy.
And we're approaching double elixir time now. Like, obviously, this match is looking pretty good so far, but generally speaking, are you just becoming even more aggressive in double elixir time, just doing what you have been doing in single elixir?
Yeah, and that's actually really nice for me that he gave me all that value for the freeze.
Oh, yeah!
This should be over right now.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I can just drop some random stuff at this point. Like, it doesn't even matter. I don't think he can defend. Yeah, it's over.
There it is. 2 hits with that lumberjack's going to definitely seal the deal in your favor here. Zap, actually, the balloon death damage will finish that off nicely for you. A nice, easy win here, man. Or at least you made it look easy.
Yeah, as for what you were saying, in double elixir, I can generally just play even more aggressive, right? I can cycle loons every like 20-30 seconds and just keep going in with that push as long as I can defend well. Okay. And eventually they mess up, and all it takes is one mess up to take a tower, so...
Yeah, so it sounds like you're always paying attention to 2 things. Like, what are... I mean, this is probably basic to every deck, but what are their best counters to your balloon, and what are your best defensive counters to their win condition, right?
Yeah, and for that, the second part, you would need to manage their spells, because if you know they have Zap, you're not going to want to use your Skarmy on like a Ram or something. You're going to want to Gang first or Lumberjack. But if you know they only have Barb Barrel, then your Skarmy goes crazy on defense.
Absolutely. Okay, well, go ahead and search for the next match here. Let's keep it going. And what do you think that would be like maybe some common mistakes for this deck for people out there?
Well, actually, like some people who have used this deck just drop like Lumberjack Balloon at the bridge first play of the game,
Yeah.
and I think that's really risky. But there's a guy in my clan who does it, and he's actually using it very underleveled, and he still managed to push to 5.8k. So it's a really strong deck, and I think that it's really hard to get away with making weird plays like that. Or I mean, it's really easy to get away with it just because of the strength of the deck.
Absolutely. And what about the freeze spell in this deck? Obviously, people are very familiar with like the Pompeo Balloon deck and Loon Cycle decks and Hog Freeze and Loon Freeze in general. But with this deck, it's a little bit cheaper. It also has that bait component. Are you generally like, do you keep the freeze as almost like a secret weapon and try to use it when you know you're going to get value? Or is it just as a matter of, hey, if they put, 2 good counters down and I know they don't have enough elixir, I'm just going to use it?
Yeah, it's honestly like it's all about the situation. Like on defense, you can get insane freeze value like you saw in that last game.
Yeah.
He gave me Prince, E-Drag, and Ice Wiz. So there you would obviously want to use it on defense. You can get some crazy trades. Or when I know, like you said, they have no elixir and they've just used all the air counters, perfect time to freeze. Because I'll definitely take tower at that point, and then it just comes down to the defense. And usually support cards aren't that hard to deal with. Especially since they're out of elixir, they won't be able to support those cards either.
Okay, so you're not a fan of going with a balloon freeze to start out or I should say a balloon lumberjack to start out the match. So what are you really a fan for starting plays? You already said sometimes a Skarmy right at the bridge or a Goblin Gang right at the bridge. Is that what you always advise instead of splitting them in the back?
Yeah, I just do that to try to understand what they're using in terms of spells. So this one's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, 3 muskies.
Especially the double spell version, because he's got log and zap. I mean, sorry, barbell and zap. So
that was a very timely freeze there, though. That was huge.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. I'm going to take a little bit of damage, but I should be up in elixir, and he's either got minion horde or hunter. Generally minion horde, which is not good for me, but...
Yeah, so how do you... Yeah. Ooh, he pumps too, though.
He uses his zap,
and
so
his
now
pump.
I can go with this, and if he minion hordes, I can try to get a nice zap with the bats. He's going to wait on it. That was okay by him. Well played, but the bats help that balloon get at least 1 hit on the tower.
Yep. And you pretty much called it there. But this is tough, though, because you don't have... You don't have the big spell, right? So, like, you don't have the miner. You have no answer, essentially, to the pump.
Yeah, and since they have that double spell, it's very hard to defend, because usually, like... my crutch card for defending against 3M would be Skeleton Army. It's just amazing against it. But when they have the zap, it's basically...
And the bar barrel. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Well, this is going to be interesting. Is it basically just defending the best you can, using freeze on defense and waiting for that opportunity?
Yeah, it's still really difficult, though. It's just... You gotta kind of hope...
freeze again, though.
Yeah.
In double elixir is when it's going to get tricky, though, right?
Definitely. It's a lot harder in double elixir, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so he zaps. I could have used my Skeleton Army, but he used it like after I dropped the gang.
And again, he's kind of giving you a little bit of an opening here. He's daring you to go.
So now he's gonna minion horde, and I'm gonna freeze it this time, just the minion horde, so I can at least take the tower. And then now I'm just gonna have to try to play full defense the whole game.
Okay, good call.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, and you don't have freeze and cycle right now, do you?
No. Okay. Oh, that was really nice that he just zapped.
Wow, so he freed you up to essentially use your Skarmy there, getting a tremendous defensive value.
Yes. And since he just...
Ooh. Okay. So you're going to freeze left.
Okay, I got to let this connect, because I have bats, but I don't want to use them, because I know he's just going to zap them. Okay.
So it looks like he's going to take right tower here.
Yeah.
Man, that was really nice defense. I thought you could have...
Yeah, I thought I had it
to get
too,
that. Yeah. I thought you had that, but you're not out of it yet, but man, this is so tough.
Yeah, it's just a very difficult matchup.
Yeah, this has got to be the most difficult matchup for this deck, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
100%. I like to Skarmy on their side like that because nobody expects it.
Exactly. Harder for them to predictive it, and
yeah, that instant reaction or the instant time zap is just...
Was that your zap or his zap?
No, that was his zap. Like on my gang, it's just so annoying with the stuff.
Yeah, right. Okay, well you're able to kind of stave off that attack. Now,
Okay, now,
yeah.
since he's used Ram, he doesn't have enough for an immediate 3M, and if he does, I can try to freeze it. So now he's got a Horde, and since he can Horde, I can just zap this. And...
Zap down! Good game! Ah, how did you do it? Man, it was so. Where was his mistake there? The battle ram in the back.
His mistake was the ram because
you knew he
after
couldn't
after he rams, he has to wait for 4 elixir to get the 3M, right?
Yeah.
And in that time, I know that I can go balloon, and lumberjack, and then if he decides to wait on the 3 musketeers, I just freeze them all at once, and I have time to take tower with the freeze duration. But
dude, that was
that would have been a bad play for him. So his only other option was the minion horde, which I just freeze zap, and that's game.
It's the power of freeze there, man. Like, he had the pump advantage on you all match. You had no big spell. You're still able to win there. Go ahead and search for search for the next one. Do you think that freeze needs to be nerfed? What is your opinion on freeze? Obviously, you're using it. I mean, everybody is, though.
Yeah, I know. I haven't used freeze much before this meta. Like, I used it once a bit on ladder using Anaban's balloon freeze deck.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just not a fan of playing against freeze. I don't like it in the game. But I think that right now the 2 cards that need nerfs or the three cards that need nerfs are Bar Barrel, 3M, and Freeze. Like, I'd be okay if they all got a nerf. Like,
oh,
I don't,
man, dude, you're hitting me where it hurts on the 3M, bro. I don't know. I'm kind of against 3M direct buff personally. I think it's like one of those easy cards to nerf just by buffing like any other decent answer card like Mega Knight or Dark Prince or Valkyrie or whatever. But I get you. There's no doubt about it that the win rates are insane right now and the popularity, especially at tournament level standard. Well, guys, this is actually taking a bit to find this next match, so we will edit out here and come back to you when he finds his last match, hopefully. We found a match, guys. We are in. Currently 11-1, so there's a little wiggle room to fail here, but we're gonna hope for the 12-1 victory. We'll give you some pancakes here, dude. Obviously, you rattle off Grand Challenge wins like it's your business, man. Do you have any general Grand Challenge tips or challenge tips for people out there? It's kind of a broad question, but I don't know. I figure I should ask.
I'm actually this is not looking good right now from his cards that he's dropped. But
yeah, right.
Basically triple spell, but I'm not sure, honestly. I've just played GCs for a long time, and you just kind of get used to it. I don't know.
Yeah. Repetition. So freeze there, defensive. It looks like he's playing P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah, for sure. With 2 spells though, which is weird. 2 small spells.
Yeah, 2 small spells. You gotta figure. He's rocking 3 spells, right? I don't know.
Yeah, he's
we'll
got poison, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so. Interesting. So identifying his air counters. We know his spells already. We know for air he has Ewiz and minions and probably P.E.K.K.A. and Poison are his last 2 cards. So strategy-wise, are you just waiting for Ewiz to be out of rotation and then attack?
Yeah, for this matchup, it's kind of difficult to just you can't just loon lumberjack at the bridge because they can defend it pretty easy. So I'm just gonna try to wait.
Okay.
Until I kind of find a good situation to go in with a push. Like you were saying, if he doesn't have Ewiz in cycle, and maybe if he P.E.K.K.A.'s in the back, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So it seems like you're not only waiting for them to have their counters out of cycle, but when they make that big play investment, P.E.K.K.A. in the back, for example, that's like a perfect time in a lot of scenarios to go opposite lane.
Yeah, because they have to spend a lot on the defense, and then I can just Inferno Dragon or whatever on the P.E.K.K.A.
On the P.E.K.K.A., yeah. Okay. So far, we're already in double elixir time. I can't believe 2 minutes have already gone by. And he's seen your freeze. He has not seen your balloon, but
it's kind of obvious.
He knows. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so he does P.E.K.K.A. in the back here, but he had the elixir advantage as well, so.
Yeah. So that was pretty nice by him, but yeah, it's just very difficult because he has all this, he has Ewiz and he has the double spell going on.
Yeah. And he has the Royal Ghost to boot as well, kind of just helping out. So there's a lot of elixir invested into the left. It's a good freeze, maybe opportunity for you. But it's going to be a real pain, though, because that Ewiz.
Yeah. The double spell, I've never seen anyone run this with that. Just kind of annoying. Yeah, I think it's
going to be GG. Yeah, well, you're clinging on to life.
I'm trying.
Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck getting through this.
Yeah, honestly.
It was pretty good defense, though, yeah.
Just a very It's a weird version. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah, he hasn't used his last card yet. We're still assuming it's poison, guys, but we'll see. We go in with our first balloon of the match here. It's going to take a real miracle to finish this off. He does use both of his air counters, so Banana Goose goes ahead and he freezes there, but of course the tower wasn't able to be frozen due to the placement there. So Zap comes down.
Yeah, it's just...
And there it is. I called it a little early, but finally the P.E.K.K.A. or the Battle Ram's going to finish things off here. All right, well, we're making it a true grand challenge. We'll come back at you with the final match of the video, winner-loss, guys. All right, guys, we're in. Here it goes. We didn't even need to cut there, really. It was a quick turnaround, but here we go. Let's give some confetti, give some pancakes, and against Nova JW. So starting off,
he's likely running the freeze deck with many P.E.K.K.A, Dark Goblin, all that.
Yeah, Ram Rider, is it that one?
Yeah, it could be Ram Rider or Hog.
Yep. Okay. So it's a faster, it's a kind of a fast deck. I want to say it's, ooh.
He's running Balloon.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we have Lumberjack mirrored, one coming right, one going left. Our balloon is down. He goes ahead and he drops that bar barrel. He drops the bats
he's gonna
as
freeze
well.
this. He doesn't freeze.
Ooh, you get a hit. I think he did not think that balloon would get to the tower, but that was really lucrative. 1341 remaining on his tower. You know he has freeze.
100%. I've seen this deck before. I knew when he dropped the bats that it wasn't the Hog freeze deck.
So that was a huge connection for you early on. Now, do you play a little bit more defensively, or do you keep the tempo up? Like, you do not change your play style just because you're in the lead?
I try to keep the tempo up, but now I'm going to try to save my freeze for his balloon.
Okay.
And then, like right here, I would just go with that. Instead of going with the offensive freeze, I think that's a much better, safer play. And then
absolutely. And it worked out. And he used a lot of elixir there.
Yeah, I got that for 6 elixir, or 8 actually, because I zapped.
Yeah.
And he spent 11.
That was great. Okay, so you're just going to rinse and repeat on defense. So...
And since he just used the bats, I think that... And his only other card is Princess, really. So I'm going to go in for a push now. And he's only really got freeze. He can cycle the bats in 2 cards. He's going to freeze and then go to bats. Or he's not even going to.
Ooh, he's going to give you the tower.
He thinks he can get away with the freeze here, but it's not happening.
Oh, the freeze on freeze! I like it how 2 matches in a row you basically called your shots. You're like, okay, he's gonna do this, and then boom, and then you're able to really. That's it, man. That should be GG unless he has something really crazy to throw at you.
I actually get a lot of 3 crowns with this deck, so I'm just gonna go for it. Like it doesn't really matter too much.
Hey, at the very least, he's having to spend elixir on defense, you know.
Yeah, and as long as I don't use my freeze, I know there's no way he's gonna take like a full tower or anything, so it's not a big deal.
My favorite videos, guys, are the ones that end 12-2. The live ones.
Then I just zap. I don't think that should get any hits.
Nope.
Yeah. Good game.
There it is, man. So, GG's, another challenge won. I love it, man. I love the 12-2s. They make for good viewing, at least in my opinion.
It's more intense.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts on the deck before we let you go, man? I really love. You're a great guest. You really break down the deck really well and show it and illustrate what you're doing when you're doing it in the matches. So, any final thoughts on it?
Yeah. So basically, to play this deck, I'd say you need to just play really aggressive early on with the Goblin Gang, Skarmy at the bridge. Try to understand what spells they're using, and then once you've got that in mind, just work around it best you can. Like, if you know they don't have much air defense, you can just go in with a Lumberjack Balloon and then rely on your bait to defend for cheap, and it usually works out because the Skarmy and Goblin Gang just have a great synergy. When they zap one thing, you just drop the other. You know what I mean? So it's very strong defensively, especially with the Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to give the deck a try myself. So thanks again for coming on, Banana Goose, and sharing it with us and playing it for us. I really appreciate it, man. Any shout-outs or anything before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, shout out to Royal Flush. Sinop44 is the best free-to-play player of all time.
Sinop44. You heard it here first. Okay, I got to get him on now. Now I got to get him on the channel. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, guys, that is going to do it. Hope you enjoy the deck. Wishing you the best of success with it in the arena. Check out Banana Goose's player stats and profile thanks to StatsRoyale.com in the description below, along with my YouTube partner, Bren Chung. Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, take care, guys.